Hello there guys, on this video we're going to be talking about burn addresses, some funky ways you can use them to do some great stuff on your contract, what they are and how you burn tokens. So a burn address is just like any other address, but it just happens to be loads of zeros and the word dead at the end, although it can just be loads of zeros. But that's just a normal address, just like your address or mine, that we all send stuff to. It works the same way as a normal address, we've just allocated this one to something we call burning. But yeah, it just works the same as any other address. So there's a few ways that you can use this. The first way, and the most simplest way, is to send stuff from your wallet to the burn address. And you might as well consider that you're setting fire to it because you can't get it back. You're just destroying it. So I'm going to do that now with some LP tokens. So tokens from my Liquidity. So when you add Liquidity over on PancakeSwap, they give you some tokens back called Cake LP, and you can either keep them in your wallet, which will make everyone think you're going to rug pull. You can lock them for a period of time, which is really doesn't help anyone because when the lock opens, what's going to happen? Or you can burn them. So I always burn them, but I've got some at the moment in my wallet that are being sent to me from the Gen 2 contract. So I'm going to burn those now. So if I pop over to the holders of the Liquidity, you'll see that in here somewhere is my wallet. Let me just scan through, see if I can see it. There it is, number 6. So this is my wallet, and I've currently got 1.6% of the supply of the Liquidity on this contract on Gen 2. So they'll be in my wallet, and I'm going to burn them. So I've added the burn address to my favorites. So I've got to go to my assets. I think it's right down at the bottom. This Liquidity token is called Cake LP, like that. So that's not the one for Gen, but that is another one. They call it Cake LP all the time. So if I go all the way down to the bottom, it's actually this one here. So I've renamed it LP underscore Gen 2. So I know that's my cake tokens for Gen 2. There they are, 34.75, 34.75. So I'm going to send those to the burn address, which I've added to my wallet. So there it is. I'm going to send all of them and go next. I have to pay a little bit of gas every time I do this, and then just burn them away. And they'll disappear from over here, so I'll drop off this page, and then they've gone. And I can't ever get them back. So what I'd normally use those tokens for, if I didn't burn them, I could redeem them for some BNB and some Gen 2 tokens in the liquidity pool, and I could get them back out. That would be a rug pull if you did it with all of them, and I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to burn them. But in the future, if I move to a different exchange, I will need some liquidity on the new exchange, and you can move some of your liquidity over. So the fact that it's going to my wallet rather than immediately to the burn address is quite useful because I might need to use that later. Right, if I go into the actual contract itself, on most contracts you have this function here, or something that looks very much like it. The function is called add liquidity, and it creates a liquidity pair and adds it into the liquidity pool, makes some liquidity tokens, those Cake LP, and then it sends them to an address. In this case, it's the dead address, which is this. 0x is loads of zeros and then the word dead. So if this bit of code was in your contract, then the liquidity tokens wouldn't go to you. They would go straight into the burn address, which is what normally happens. That's what we normally do with liquidity. Another cool thing that you can do is after you've deployed your contract, you can burn some of your tokens. So when you deploy, you get all the token supply. You can burn a percentage of those, which I've done. So if we look at the holders, you'll see that it says burn address here, but if I hover over it, it will say that 0x, loads of zeros and the word dead. So those are 10% of the total supply that I sent to the burn address. Now, the really cool thing about this is that is getting reflections. So although it tells you that we've got this many tokens here, that's not the correct amount because it doesn't update on BSC scan unless you actually buy or sell. And because the burn address is never bought or sold, it's just telling you the original amount. But that burn address is currently holding a lot more tokens than we have here because of the reflection. This makes Gen 2 deflationary because the tokens are continually being burned. So we're going to have a look at how many tokens Gen 2 has got in the burn address. So all I have to do is get the burn address, which I've got here. I'll copy that. And then I'll go into the read contract page in here. and I'll go to the balance of, which I think is number 11. I'll pop in the burn address and query it, and you'll see that I've got, let me zoom in, this many. So it was 1 and loads of zeros. Now it's 1, 0, 6 and all these numbers. So you can see it's gone up by about 6% of what it was previously. That's additional tokens that get burned due to reflection. So when the reflection happens, this is classed as a holder. So it gets some of those tokens the same as every other holder does. And that becomes an automatic burn, which makes this deflationary. So there's a cool couple of things you can do with a burn address. Another thing before we go, let's pop over to here and pop in the burn address into here, and we can have a look at some statistics for it. So we can see that this much BNB has been sent to the burn address. So 130,913 BNB, which has a dollar value of about $38 million, has been sent to that address. And we can also see that $3,253,744,431.18 has been sent to the burn address in tokens. That's not the only burn address. There are others. If I just take the word dead off the end and put 4 more zeros in place of the word dead, and I look at that one, then you'll see that that one's had stuff sent to it as well. So that's got a balance of $106,000. This one isn't so popular, 366 BNB, and it's also been sent $767 million, $844,157.50 in tokens have been sent to this address. So collectively, those two addresses have got quite a lot of money sitting in them, but they are called burn addresses, but they work in exactly the same way as a normal address. If somebody owned this address, they would have access to this money. They would be able to send it somewhere else. It's still a completely normal address, just like the one I've got or the one that you've got. It's just that this particular address has been allocated to this function within the Binance Smart Chain, which is quite interesting, I think. It's quite useful. So that's the way it works, and there's a lot of money in there, isn't there? A lot of money. Let's get back to that previous one and have a quick look at this. Look at that. That is an astonishing amount of money sitting on the burn wallet. Simply because people want to have deflationary tokens, so we often burn stuff. We burn tokens all the time, and we do burn BNB. Not really sure why we've burnt $38 million worth of BNB. I've burnt some by mistake before, but I can't imagine that all this has been a mistake. But there we go. All right, take care, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.